Okay. I'm leaving my hotel. I was in the Hilton Hampton. It was a good hotel, but checkout took a bit long. But it's okay. Not too long, but I was getting impatient because I am not really late for the game, but I'm a little bit stressed. It's 15 minutes until the game. Just a few minute walk, but yeah. I have all my stuff with me. It's a lot. I have 4 bags, but one of them is for my tripod, which I will pick up later because it's still in the plane. Oh, I hope I didn't forget anything. I don't know. I don't know where everything is. All my pockets are. What did I do with this hairband, hair tie? I have no idea. Oh no, my shoes. My shoelaces went off. Oh god, I really do not have the time right now to fix that. It's okay. I'm very careful, right? Anyway, round 5 today. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm playing an IM, so very exciting stuff. I have to start this camera earlier because of the 15-minute delay, even though I have been failing to meet that requirement for a few times now because there's just no time whatsoever. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. It's crazy, the turn's almost over. It's almost over. Do you see what I see? Yeah, the sun is gonna be pain again. I swear. And I'm playing white again, so I'll be like burned alive the entire game. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's nice weather to be outside, but inside it's just a disaster. Inside is a disaster. I feel like a coat hanger. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's a coat hanger. We're entering the building now. Didn't count for this. Okay. Still have some time. I feel like I'm moving places.
Op die verjaardag maar.
Hello. It's like I'm... Oh, dankjewel. Ik had nog. Yay, nog meer. Thanks. Wat een gedoe. Wat... Oh mijn god, die zon. Wat zeg je? Oh nee. Nee, heel erg. Ik ga er gewoon elke keer weer heen. Oh my god. Ik vind het net. I was going crazy. Verschrikkelijk dit.
Heb je nu wel die leven? Heb je nu wel die leven?
What to do?
Tegen wie moet je vandaag? Waarom komt die naam mij zo bekend voor? Waarom komt die naam mij zo bekend voor?
Ik heb hem ook. Heb je
Nee.
nog gespeeld?
Ik niet, nee.
Oké.
Volgens mij William. Ik heb geen idee. Nou, veel succes.
Dat is wel lekker, joh. Dat is een bordje. Dat is wel een hele zaal. En je hebt maar één zaal.
Partijgevoetbal, chess.com.
Oh ja, mooi. Ja, nee, ik gebruik de chess.com niet meer, want ik laat mijn moderatie doen de zetten zelf op het bord. Want ja, hij loopt soms vast en zo, dus ja. Maar it's okay, thanks.
Dat vorige keer had ik. Je hebt al die tafels zo. Ik zat gewoon zo. Alle ruimte.
Staat hij nu?
Dit jaar weer niet.
Ja, oké.
Ik heb al 17 jaar geleden. Dat ook niet. Ja, ik vind best goed. Ik vind het ontzettend gaaf. Nou, zoals gisteren dan. Zoals gisteren van de beste was. Ah ja, ik vind het wel anders. Het was wel een heel raar moment. Ik had gewoon de tekst van even blijven teruggekomen. Er was wat aan. Het staat nog steeds, het staat ook. Ik heb een overzicht, maar het staat eigenlijk verschillende dingen. Met alles. Dat zei ze op een gegeven moment. Ik was er voorbereid. We hadden iets wel tegen de kant. Dus gewoon kijken naar wat ik afkwam. Dat was niet wel zo. Ik ging dat. Hij was ook niet heel lang. Maar je deed wel wat ik zei. Ik zei, je moet goede zetten doen. Dan moet je kijken. Nou, wij... Dat wel uit. Dat hebben een hele andere wereld. In de tijd met een vuur. Doe mij nog wat. Ik heb het bij het liefde wat ooit in slaap gevallen tijdens de tijd. De wedstrijd met mijn kwartier, hij zat er zo achter. Ik kwam naar het kwartier van de wedstrijd mee.
Voorbereiding. Dat is gewoon een dikke jaar, hè?
Weet je hoe ik het voel?
Geen pen is best. Geen pen is best. Klein beetje pen.
Succes.
Succes. Succes.
Hello everyone. Hi, how's the volume? Can you guys hear me? All right, that's nice. Welcome everybody. This is the final day of the Amsterdam Chess Open. Anna-Maja is playing round 5 versus an I am Barry Brink. I am not going to make a Brink pun. Hi, Hair Parent. Hi, Bucks. Okay, I guess loud is good. Sure. I mean, I would prefer not to be here if someone else can, but it's okay. Your call. Can someone tell me the moves after knight c6, please?
You're banned.
Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Blue.
Hello.
How's the volume? How are things? Everything good? Technical?
Everything's good. Take us away while I do the moves.
Okay, so it looks like we are getting a proper Taimanov on the board, and she does play 7g4, which is very exciting. It's also a move that has been very popular at the Grandmaster level. I believe Niels Grandelius is the one who started playing it with some sort of regularity. The point is we are actually sacrificing a pawn in the main line for great compensation on the light squares. So 7g4, usually the moves that follow are b5, knight takes c6, queen takes c6, and here I guess queen to d2 is expected, but let's not jump too far ahead of us. Let's not jump too far ahead of ourselves, I should say, rather. In a previous game that Anna-Maja faced the Taimanov in, she actually mistakenly played bishop to e2 on move 7, and then went g4 on move 8, which is a bit of a strange setup, because once you play g4, ideally you want the light squared bishop on the long diagonal. Okay, and the opponent is actually quite surprised by 7g4. I don't think he's faking it. I think he's actually having trouble recollecting exactly how the line goes. Ooh, and he takes on d4 right away. That is slightly unusual. I'm gonna have to check the databases there. Not a move that's too common. So let's take a look in the master's database. After e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, cd4, knight takes d4, knight c6, knight c3, queen c7, bishop e3, a6, g4. The move knight takes d4 has been played only in 13% of the master games. And white is scoring decently well there. But clearly the opponent is not theoretically prepared to face g4, and he tries to deviate quickly. And of course we should take back with the queen, so we can prepare for long castling. Yeah, this is very unusual. This is very, very unusual to play knight takes d4 in this position. It has not been a main move for a long time. This 7g4 has become popular immediately after the pandemic. If you look in the Masters database, you will see that some pretty good players have employed this. For example, Jan Nepomniachtchi played it against Caruana in 2021. Anish Giri played it against Nepo. So, you can imagine if Giri beat Nepo with it, and then Nepo 2 months later tried it against Caruana, it's a very good line. And probably the engines love it. Also, Vishy Anand used g4 to beat Jordan van Forest in July of 21. But I would say that the originator of the line is Niels Grandelius. He's the one to first use it against Alan Pichot in March of 21. So from Grandelius, the line got to Giri, and then from Giri it got spread to Nepomniachtchi and other players too. Well, Carlsen was on the black side of this, Alberto. So that's not very relevant if black won that game, right? If I want to hear a fun fact about Grandelius, sure. Of course, Konstantin. Why not? He's also a lefty. Well, great. I guess Streamer is a lefty, Grandelius is a lefty, and your humble commentator is also a lefty. The one currently speaking. So how's everybody doing? Today is Sunday, if my calendar is accurate. Laws Cooper, hello, also a lefty. Laws Cooper, who recently reposted some of my research into rating deflation on Twitter, which I very much appreciate. Yeah, heir apparent. I'm kind of coming out of retirement already. Well, it was a short-lived retirement. Apparently everybody but myself could predict this will happen eventually, so who am I to dispute the opinion of the majority, let's say. Yeah, that did not take long. That took like 2 months and a half. Trying to get back to 2000. Blocked by Vladimir Kramnik. Yeah, being blocked by Vladimir Kramnik is something that I have not managed to achieve yet, mostly because I try not to interact with his content. I'm sure if I tried to, it would be very quick to happen. He's a trigger happy man. He's a trigger happy man, and he loves pressing the block button. I did not block him, but I did mute his tweets. I rarely block. So for me, actually blocking somebody means they behaved 2 standard deviations outside of the normal human decency. So like, if you're just a bit weird, like let's say 1 standard deviation from being a normal human, I'll probably just mute you. If you're 2 standard deviations beyond what I consider human decency, then yeah, probably block. But thankfully, very few people are 2 standard deviations away from human decency. Well, I guess definition of normal is very personal, right? Like what you consider to be normal, somebody else might not consider to be normal. I consider myself to be reasonably normal, so hopefully my definition of normal is reasonably normal. But of course, I don't have a standardized definition of what it means to be a normal human being, if that's the question. Okay, so after b5, we expect long castling by Anna-Maja here. Pretty much long castling has been chosen by absolutely everybody in this position, which is rather funny because you'd imagine a move such as bishop to g2 also makes some sense, right? Like, like if I look in the player database, not the Masters database, but players, well, 81% of casual players still go for long castling, but the remaining moves are bishop to g2, 8%, a3, 5%, g5, that's what's exciting, 3%, and then of course some other moves which are nonsensical, such as, for example, queen to b6. I mean, if you played g4 in order to play queen to b6 and trade queens here, then probably the understanding of the position isn't there. But then again, person doing this was rated 1100 in bullets, so it's not theoretically important. Hello, Jenny. Jenny is with us. Oh, hello, Jenny, the tactician. We're hoping to see some of Jenny's tactics on the board today. She's playing a rapid OTB tournament. So we are very excited to see Jenny's progress and tournament results today. If you put the bishop on g2, you don't want to go f3 yet. I think if you put the bishop on g2, it's okay not to play f3 unless truly necessary. No. The bishop should not go to e2. The bishop should not go to e2 here. e2 needs to be vacated for the white knight in case of b4. So you want to go long castles, and if b4 hits, you want to have e2 available for the knight. The development with knight to f6 is already considered dangerous in some of these lines. So it's not so common for black to give this free tempo. The knight could go to a4. Not sure what it does from a4. Yes, it's an available square, but not sure what it does from there. So the main line continues long castles by white, bishop to b7, pawn to f3, rook to c8, h4, b4, and in this position, I find it rather amusing. I actually find it rather amusing. Wait, sorry. I'm telling you a bad main line. I'm telling you the main line not from the master's database. Let's revert. So from the current position. From the current position, the main line in the master's database goes long castling, bishop to b7, pawn to f3, rook to c8, and here queen to d2. Queen to d2, and then after bishop to b4, the point is we go bishop to d4, protecting c3 and attacking g7 at the same time. And in case of e5, that gets refuted immediately, because we take on e5, and then we can take on d7 as well. Okay, maybe this line is a bit long to follow without the board analysis. But in any case, we are expecting a long castling, which has happened, in fact. So long castles, and now bishop to b7 is the move we expect. Yes, knight f6. Again, I'm speaking this from. I play this line with both colors. So I play this line with white. I play 7g4 in the English attack myself, and of course, I also, as a Taimanov player myself, I have to know a bit of prep. And knight f6 is not very smart because this free tempo with g5 can turn like really annoying for black. Like, soon enough, you don't have good squares for your minor pieces, especially. So, it's very dicey. It's very dicey to put this knight on f6. And generally, I find these positions to be really nice to play with white. You have the extra space. Your king has already picked a side. The king picked the queen side and wants to stay there and is not afraid of any attacks incoming. So yeah, generally I think this is a line that's quite pleasant to play. I don't really know if the opponent has any sort of like clue about this variation, considering he opted to take on d4 so early. Maybe that does illustrate that he has studied some of these high-level games, because this does follow Nepomniachtchi against Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi against Caruana, and Grandelius even played this against Carlsen. So it's funny that Grandelius tried it against Carlsen, made a draw, and then when Nepo tried it, Carlsen just beat him, which was a month after the draw against Grandelius. But in any case, this will be interesting to follow. This is one of the most theoretical lines that I've seen Anna-Maja enter with the white pieces in a long time. Really, this is actually a quite theoretical line. And we have roughly 47 hits in the Masters database still, and we're already on move 9. So it's a position that has been debated at the top levels of chess. Yeah, absolutely everybody has played bishop to b7 here. I mean, okay, it makes sense, right? What else are you going to play? What other moves could you even try? Like, okay, knight f6 probably loses immediately to e5, and bishop to g2 is coming next. So yeah, that's probably just, yeah. Now knight f6 would lose on the spot, for example. Okay, the opponent is back at the board. The opponent is back at the board, and... Oh, guys, did blue disappear forever? Well, I mean, I know he muted in the call, but is he actually still on duty in the chat? Because I'm not... I need to scroll a bit. Oh, she is. He is. Sorry for misgendering you, Blue. I'm having trouble. I did not sleep too well last night, and... Well... I guess that could explain. Bishop to b7 has been played. Let's see, chat. What's gonna happen here? So, bishop to b7. All good. We're having a good time here. So, king to b1 and f3 are the only two reasonable moves here. F3 has been played twice as much as king to b1. But only these two moves are reasonable to consider from the Masters database. Now, G5, an empty G5 like that doesn't really come with tempo, is generally a weakening move, and it gives a hook. So you could consider, let's say if you play G5 too early, maybe black can just reorganize the pieces, let's say knight to e7 followed by knight to c6, and then eventually black is going to play h6 with the rook still on h8 and claim that you have to make a positional concession of sorts. Again, this is just an example. This is why you should not try to play g5 too soon in these variations. You want to have the proper piece build up behind it. And that's the difference between somebody who is a pawn pusher and considered a, let's say, coffee house style player versus somebody who is positionally sound and also very aggressive, right? So somebody like Alexei Shirov, you can say that he's a pawn pusher, he's just kind of a coffee house style player, but the guy truly understands the positional nuances as well, so it doesn't register like that. Yeah, knight to e7 loses immediately. Knight to e7 usually loses to this little tactic, which I actually blundered on move 12 in a game last December. I had a knight on c6, and instead of taking first on d4 and then bringing the other knight around, I played knight g7, and I succumbed to this sacrifice on b5, and my king was practically just getting crushed. Yeah, g5 here would be met. G5 would likely be met with something like rook to c8. I see there's a game of Cristobal Enriquez Viagra here. Also, there's a Tate Abrahamian against Irina Krush in the same variation, where Abrahamian played, or rather, I should say, wait, who played this? Yeah, Tatev played this early g5, and Krush played rook to c8. And I guess what happened later was Tatev played rook to d2, and Irina went for f6. But funnily enough, in that game, White actually ended up winning a pretty nice tactical game. So, yeah, I don't really expect her to go. I don't really expect Anna-Maja to go for g5 here. It just doesn't seem positionally like sound enough. But it is a move. And it's definitely not the worst move in the position or anything like that. So, whether it's good enough to keep the advantage, that's a separate conversation. You're the G-pawn expert. Bravo. Very good. Very, very good. So f3 or king to b1. Yeah, f3 is probably as good as king to b1. Generally, when you don't know what to do in such positions, I think king to b1 is a very healthy move to play. Like, it's just very healthy, right? a2 gets an extra defender, there are no tactics there. Again, taking the king away from the c-file means that you could potentially put a rook on c1 later on if needed to defend, or, you know, just even bring the... Say, for example, the dark squared bishop needs another square to defend against some dark square attack. c1 becomes available. Generally, king to b1 is just a very healthy and fundamental positional move. No, I don't think she would play g5 here, guys. I actually don't think she would play g5. But then again, I've been surprised by Anna-Maja before, and she definitely has the capability to find moves which are not necessarily the first ones that cross my mind. Which also explains why she's rated roughly 250 points higher in FIDE rating. So, you know, there's a clear difference in class between us, and she has the upper hand there. Rook to d2 is just some sort of like ugly. I don't know. Rook to d2. I'm very allergic to moves that cut off the mobility of my pieces. So when I see a move like rook to d2, cutting off not only my queen's retreat, but also my bishop's retreat squares, I'm like, ugh, okay, that looks weird. So I'm basically allergic to making moves like that. I mean, okay, you only need prophylaxis once the rook lands on c8, right? Until a rook lands on c8, you need no prophylaxis against this b4 idea. So you can probably consider many moves here for white. You could consider even rook to g1. Rook to g1 feels like it should be a move, but actually that blunders h2. But I'm not sure if h2 can be taken because there's a mate on d7, right? So even, yeah, like rook to g1 is a move that you could say, okay, what the hell? That seems so strange. But maybe there's some reason behind this madness. So let's say rook to g1, rook to c8. How do you defend against this b4? You can consider pawn to a3, but that makes a weakness. You can consider rook to d2, which is an ugly looking move. Many ways for this game to continue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess rook lands on c8, then it's not prophylaxis any longer. It is actually defending against a real threat. But that's a nice technicality there. You caught me. You caught me in a little technicality, Alberto. Props to you. Yeah, so I really don't know what move she'll opt for here. I guess king to b1 is what I would play in a blitz game. Just, you know, saying, fine, I'll make a slow improvement move and then decide how to continue later. In a classical game, however, you'd have to try and understand the nuances. So how is f3 superior to king to b1? I wouldn't be able to tell you. But yeah, I guess you don't really need to put the king on b1, so you're just saving a tempo at first glance. King b1, dubious, because the knight c3 might need a b1 square. I don't believe that. I really don't think the knight from c3 will ever land on b1. Like, I will say that's just not true. I'll say that the knight from c3, if attacked, should ideally retreat to e2, or potentially in some lines it could go to a4. But there's no parallel universe where I think b4 should be responded to with the move knight to b1. Ask the engine. Okay, in which line? So let's say I go f3 first, and black goes b4. Here the engine says knight to a4 is much stronger than knight to e2 than knight to b1, being the least desirable. Let's look at some other neutral move. I don't know, let's say. Okay, I'll say that white plays h4. Pawn to b4. Here, knight to a4 is the best. Knight to b1 and knight to e2 are roughly equivalent. Maybe b1 is actually slightly better here. So I'll say that in the variation with h4, b4, knight to b1 would be the second best option for the retreat of the knight. But in none of these lines is the b1 retreat square considered the optimal for the knight once it gets kicked. Okay, Alberto, copy paste that line here. Take it from the top if you can. So like actual full PGN. Give it in full PGN from e4, e4, c5 onwards, because I want to import it. I want to import it and take a look. Sounds pretty crazy. I might even take a look with like proper chess base, but I don't know, like being on a voice call in Discord, trying to run Stockfish 17 in chess base. Do you guys sense the danger there? I'm sensing the danger. Thank you for that one. Maybe it's not so prudent to try and do that. Okay, so let's copy paste that part of Alberto's message. Of course, quite difficult to do so. Yeah, I'll risk it. I'll start up chess base 16, 64 bits on Windows 10 and see what happens. If my voice cuts out, let me know. It's pretty resource intensive. Okay, let's crank it up, boys and girls. So, what is this? I'm gonna have to check the correspondence database. What is this line, man? What is happening? Okay, so g4, knight takes d4. In correspondence, this has hardly been played. Like it's actually never been played in correspondence even, this g5 idea. Okay. In the live book, also practically no hits. So correspondence means mostly engine against engine. And, well, live book means human versus human. Oh my goodness. What is this position, man? So h6, g6, f5, e takes f5, e5, queen. No, but this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong somehow. Something is off here. You're telling me that bishop takes h1 doesn't win for black? No, what is this? What is this line, man? Alberto, I'm not sure what you found here, but you just opened Pandora's box. This is ridiculous analysis here. This screams like Leela chess against Torchy or Berserk or what is this line, man? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Who plays chess like this? Even Alexei Shirov thinks there are too many pawn moves in this line. Oh, what's up with this, man? You want what? Okay, I'm gonna close chess base. This is just pure engine blabber. Humans don't play chess like that. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, this was a Torchy find in the TCC. Oh no, you're saying this should be findable by Torch. Ah, okay, would be findable. Yeah, no, actually, guys, I'm not sure if you follow engine matches ever, but the recent TCC has been remarkably close. I mean, they had a World Cup format, they had a knockout bracket, and of course, it ended up being Lila against Stockfish, as everyone predicted. But some of the matches have been surprisingly close. And there are some of these open source engines, like I guess Torch and Berserk, which are incredibly strong. Not as strong as Stockfish, but still. Whoever is behind those projects, definitely doing some really good work. Yeah, no, Alberto, you should save that. You should save it in your like deep analysis files. F3 has been played by Anna-Maja still, so I guess we can cut down. We can cut down on the analysis of G5, but still fun to see such analysis. So let's revert back to the current game position. Bishop to b7 and pawn to f3 played. Didn't Lila team complain about the conditions? I don't know, man. I don't actually know if Lila complained. Where is Florencio Campomanes when you need him? Or, as Bobby Fischer... No, actually, who called him? Was it Kasparov who called him Florencio Carpomanes? Because seemingly he thought he was siding with Karpov during the 1985 match or something. There's some good lore. Some good lore behind all of this. Where to watch the new Kasparov Deep Blue Series rematch? No, I don't know. If anybody knows how to do that, please let me know. I've heard about it. I read about it on Twitter. There's some new series about that, but don't actually know how to watch it. Would be wonderful. Okay, so let's do a bit of trivia. Without Googling, who can name the most previous FIDE presidents? So yeah, please don't cheat. Like, tell me how many former FIDE presidents you can name. See you, Bucks Lion. See you. Have a nice rest of your day, man. Okay, so we have Max. Yeah, Max Uwe is, of course, a very famous one. Also a former world champion. I don't know the ones in the beginning of FIDE. So, like, you know, let's say before the Reykjavik 1972 match between Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer, I don't know I don't know those ones. So like we're talking way back when. But starting with that, I think I know pretty much all of the ones since then. Well, knowing 4 is still very good, Akjet. Yeah, Kirsan Ilyumzhinov is from Republic of Kalmykia, right? Like there's where this place called Elista is located. I actually don't know. I don't know if I could point it on a map where it is. So I'm actually gonna conveniently open up Google Maps to see where. Oh, it's between the. Well, it's in the northern Caucasus, yeah. So it's like north of Georgia, between the Azov Sea and the Caspian Sea. So that's yeah, I guess that's where it is. So not into like the far east of Russia or anything like that. Yeah, so before Dvorkovich, we had Kirsan, the one who was writing books about being abducted by aliens, a bit of a strange man and rather corrupt as well. He was sanctioned. He was on a list of sanctions by many governments, and at some point he had to delegate his attributes to his deputy, Georgios Makropoulos from Greece. So that was a pretty corrupt regime, very corrupt regime, in fact. Not that the current one is any better, to be honest with you, but hey, I didn't say anything. And then before that, we had Florencio Campomanes from the Philippines. And before that, there was Fredrik Olafsson, an Icelandic grandmaster. So that's pretty much, and of course, when the Reykjavik match happened in '72, Max Öwe was still president, and the ones before then, sorry, I don't know their names. Yeah, this is Fidelor. You know, this is the journalistic side is coming out. Okay, so we have rook to c8 has happened, and what did she play after? Did she play bishop to d3 or rook? No, she played rook to d2, yeah? So rook to c8 happened, and now, wait, she played rook to d2? Really? Okay, but then, yeah, this bishop to c5 actually ends up trading a lot of stuff off the board. Yeah, so we're definitely out of theory. Queen to d2 was the main theoretical move. Rook to d2, I do not believe has been played in too many games. I mean, the highest profile games I can find with this move are, well, between 2,100 rated players on the other website. You know, we're talking blitz game, 2,100 against 2,100 on the other website, and those are probably not strong enough to be considered truly opening theoreticians yet. Yeah, so this rook to d2, we are deviating. This position has not appeared in previous master games. No, but it's okay. This is a line that probably she prepared a bit deeper in the actual main line where black plays b5 instead of taking on d4. So we are in a sideline of a sideline. It's quite natural for her not to know queen to d2 in this position. So it's very normal to deviate. I don't think there should be any sort of, oh no, she didn't remember the proper theory, but we're on move 11 in a sideline of a sideline, so. Yeah, this endgame doesn't look bad for white at all. So bishop c5, queen c5, queen c5, bishop c5, rook c5 really doesn't look bad. I mean, you just have to find a good place for the light squared bishop. And you just double the rooks on the d file, presumably, or you can even gain some more space. Don't stop playing here. You know some mainline theory. At least you know the Breyer-Ruy-Lopez theory. Exactly, nailed it. That's what I like to hear. Now this would be a fun endgame. So I guess we are cheering for bishop c5 to happen on the board, and to enter this sort of nice-looking endgame. If we get enough pressure on the d-file, it's even possible to start cracking away on the queen side with a4 later. So really, it's white who's probably calling the shots in that endgame. Yeah, fly you fools. Are you a disciple? Have you signed up for the Hans Niemann scholarships? Are you a friend? Are you part of that group of people like Vitaly Bernadsky and Amin Tabatabai, and I don't know who else is in that group. The group of people who let the chess speak for itself. Biggest scare for hotel staff worldwide. Brandon Jacobson. Oh yes, yes. This is a name. This is indeed a name. I forgot he was part of this group. Nah, but okay, I don't want to take the conversation into that direction. There's plenty of that talk all over podcasts and YouTube videos and whatnot. So let's focus on the positives. Speaking of Salimova, are you guys following the ongoing FIDE Women's Grand Prix in Kazakhstan? They really outdid themselves. Like, actually, as far as hotels and venues go, it must be one of the most beautiful venues I have seen. And it's incredible. Like if you just go, so I recommend you go on the Flickr. Just go on flickr.com and type in FIDE. So if you just say Flickr FIDE, then you're gonna find some photo albums, the official FIDE photo streams. You can take a look there. It's absolutely beautiful. The venue they picked for the Women's Grand Prix in Kazakhstan, the hotel, just really, really brilliant. Really brilliant. And it's heating up. The competition there is heating up. Thank you, Alberto, for the link. Very much appreciated. So the competition is heating up. I believe at the halfway mark, we have Tan. I think Tan is in the lead, and she's joined by Goryachkina and there must have been a third person. So who else is in the lead? I know Goryachkina and Tan are currently tied, but there is a third player. Yes, I believe Humpy, because Kashlinskaya is missed. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really, really sad that Kashlinskaya managed to win the Tbilisi leg as a wild card, and she doesn't receive equal opportunity to participate in 2 more legs. Like, it's just really, really sad. But then again, she did claim that her main priority at the moment was to spend more time with her family and her young son. So it's quite natural that she has this priority, I guess. I'm also certain that she would not refuse. Like, if FIDE said, "Oh, by the way, Alina, you can play 2 more legs in the FIDE Grand Prix," I'm sure she wouldn't say something like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I cannot. I'm gonna spend more time at home." But I also don't think she's too upset about it. Mentioned that. She did mention that with the interview. On bishop c5, can we go queen g7? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way. There's no way that move could work. No way. I take on e3. You take on h8. I go queen to f4 there. I go queen to f4, you can take my knight, but your queen's under attack after king to e7, you have no more checks, and I'm crushing you on the dark squares. So queen takes g7 is out of the question there. Vertical stripes gang looking good. It may be the engine being broken, but maybe it's not running at high enough depths. But no, like this queen g7 is a bit too wild. White should be satisfied with the endgame, I guess. White should be quite satisfied with the endgame, and even can start chipping away with a4 immediately, or try to gain more space with h4 first. I think this will happen, honestly. Yeah, no, he probably doesn't love the prospect of entering this endgame. Though, as somebody said in the chat earlier, it is true that most endgames in the Sicilian, due to the central pawn majority, are considered, at least from a classical perspective, to be good for black. So it is true. It is true that there's this sort of idea that in the open Sicilian, if black manages to trade queens on equal terms, generally the structural advantage in the endgame could be important for black. But then again, such general principles don't always stand the test of time. Chess is a very concrete game. Every position has some subtleties and nuances that could change the evaluation. So it's not great to paint the position with such broad strokes. Okay, guys, I'm taking a short refreshment break. I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. I just need to get something to drink, preferably non-alcoholic. Although a gin tonic could also work at noon. Be right back. Bravo, Mateusz. Very good. Very, very good, Mateusz. Hey, sleep is important. Sleep is very important, and you should not, sacrifice any of that. Yeah, the position is very interesting. We have this rook to d2, which at first glance looks like it's cutting off some of the retreat squares for the bishop and the queen, but ultimately what could truly happen is that the rook from d2 could swing over to the right hand side, the king side. So I think this position has some decent prospects for white. Sicilian. How could you tell, Mateusz? Could it be the missing d pawn for white and missing c pawn for black? and the presence of a white pawn on e4, then you are correct. You are absolutely correct, my friend. How was the sleep from 1 to 11? I slept so poorly last night. I slept a lot. Like, I actually must have slept from, like, let's say midnight until, like, 9 a.m. So, solid 9 hours, but it was terrible quality. Oh, Altmann, welcome. Herzlich willkommen, Daniel Altmann. Wie bist du? Sorry, I tend to speak in different languages, especially when people named Altmann join the chat. Ja, hallo. Where's Konstantin when you need him? Where is Konstantin Alexander? Okay, chat, what shoes is she wearing today? Can somebody identify the shoes? Soon enough, we're gonna have to add a new command. Shop the fit. Shop the fit here, and links. How long has he been thinking for now? Good question. I guess one way to find out is to take a look at the timestamps in the PGN. I believe this is with delay, right? So what we're seeing, the video feed and the PGN feed, they're both delayed 15 minutes or so. Looks like black is down to 1 hour on the clock. White still has 1 hour and 12 minutes. So she's up 12 minutes on the clock. That's what we should remember. I really don't know. What is he pondering? So is he pondering... So surely he's looking at bishop c5 and trying to evaluate whether there's a better move. But I don't really see other better moves than bishop c5. I remember playing a similar endgame in Munich last year. And I was with the black pieces in this sort of Taimanov. Played an early bishop c5. Queens got traded off quickly. White got some significant pressure on the d file. I had to play d5, got into an isolated queen's pawn position. Technically speaking, white could not have lost that game, but my opponent, being a fellow weak 1900 himself, well, actually back then I was still 2000, so my opponent, being a bit lower rated, managed to misplay the rook endgame so badly that we got into a position where I had a rook and he had 3 connected passed pawns in the endgame, but my king was close enough and his passed pawns were far away, like far back, that I could actually convert rook against 3 connected passers in the endgame. So that was maybe one of the proudest moments, because I studied this endgame a long time ago. A long time ago, when I was a bit more dedicated to studying chess, I really wanted to learn more about rook endgames. And specifically, rook against 3 connected passed pawns is incredibly difficult to defend in practice. Like, if you make even one mistake, it's possible that you even throw away the win into a loss. It's a very sharp endgame. So being able to convert that OTB in classical, that really was a source of pride in the moment. Yeah, black is really tanking, and let's not forget that black was late. So the Barry Brink was running late by quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, we can see the clocks in the PGN source, that in the pinned message. So the chess.com pinned message has the timestamps available. So let's do a little bit of chatting while the opponent is still thinking. Do you guys use Chessable? And if yes, what courses are you currently studying in Chessable? I'm curious to hear your responses. You can also say no, I don't use Chessable. That's also a very valid response, but I guess it's not gonna contribute so much to the convo if you say no. No, I'm not trying to push Anna-Maja's course. I was going to mention it, but I'm not like, I don't get paid for this. Susan Polgar, learning chess the right way. Okay, so I see there's a discrepancy here. Free course. You guys are cracking me up. Is everybody from the Balkans or what's happening here? Interesting. So I'll tell you my take on Chessable. And well, I like the premise. I really like the premise of the website. It's great because it has this sort of spaced repetition algorithm. You are tested on it. You have to review the lines. The ones that you get right, you're not going to see them too often. The ones that you get wrong, you're going to be prompted more regularly to review those. So the premise of it, the premise is great. However, there are some flaws, and I suppose the main flaw would be the deliberate focus on producing only opening courses. So let's say you log into Chessable. I am logged into my account right now, for example. You go to the main dashboard. You click on all courses. I'm just going to sample through some of the new offerings here. So, some of the new releases are Train Your Tactical Vision. Yay, not an opening course. Amazing. Then, starting out Nimzo Indian Defense. Obviously an opening course. Mayhem in the Scotch. Clearly an opening. Lifetime Repertoire Shandorf's Caro Khan. Opening. Classical English. Practical Philidor. C4 Simplified. Albin Counter Gambit. Winning with E4. 1d4 for ambitious chess improvers. And then you have to read through all of these titles to get to the next one, which is how to reassess your chess. So some of these, like I guess the main focus towards openings is really disheartening to see. Because chess is so much more than just openings. Like the richness, the vastness of the game cannot be captured in just a lifetime repertoire. And of course, I want Anna-Maja's course to have good sales. I think it's a great course, if you ask me. I think it's a great course, but I also don't think that we should be filling up our shopping carts with opening courses when we're still blundering pieces and two-move tactics. So that's all I'm saying. That is all I am saying. So the premise of Chessable using the space repetition algorithm to prompt you to get some moves and to do some drills and repetitions is great. That's how you should practice chess. You should not just read a book like it's some sort of literature. You should read the book and really try to understand what it's saying and try to understand the diagrams. But the sheer focus on openings kind of diminishes overall the value of the platform, if you ask me. And then again, I really hope that nobody who's hearing this or listening to it doesn't think that I have some sort of bone to pick with Chessable. That's not the case. I use the platform. I've purchased courses in the past. I have recently acquired a new one even. It's about an opening. So, I really don't, I'm not trying to say that it's not a good platform or anything like that. Opponent is in shambles. I don't believe that's the case, but I do think the opponent is thinking far too long in the current position. So I should probably also answer the question that I posed to you guys. I am currently studying Lars Schandorf's Lifetime Caro-Kann repertoire. I have decided to encapsulate this. Well, encapsulate, is that a word? Nah, that's too fancy of a word. I have decided to start playing the Caro-Kann as well. Is encapsulate a word? It should be a word, right? It feels a bit weird. Yeah, okay. Probably not the right usage there. Yeah, but it feels weird to use the word in the context of like using a new chess opening. Jovanka has a nice Caro course as well. I like Lars Schandorf. I know this guy. He's a Danish grandmaster. I know that he has written multiple books. Especially, I believe he has previous books on the Caro-Kann since the 1980s. He's been playing this opening. So I guess he has a lot of authority on the matter. And Schandorf also wrote a book on the Semislav, which is very highly regarded. It's maybe one of the best Semislav repertoire books that's ever been published. So I would actually highly recommend, if you are a Semislav player and you don't have Lars Schandorf's book, you are missing out. The level of analysis is incredible. Okay, what are you saying, Alberto? Let me catch up with the chat here for a second. Also, I believe I'm not reading the YouTube chat at the moment, but I could potentially change that. So, let me see. Anna-Maja, round 5, Amsterdam, 47 people watching. I was hearing my own voice as well, which is always strange. Not so much activity in the YouTube chat, but hello to everybody watching us on YouTube as well. All told, you're still at the level where you're blundering pieces in one. Schandorf's analysis probably not going to be too helpful to you. Sorry. Bro, I'm his coach, or I was his coach, or I'm gonna be his coach. Altold can take the brunt of the honesty. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Altold is a good sportsman. He can dish it and he can take it. And he loves the brutal honesty. Well, you want me to say that, yes, please study Schandorf's Semislav book? I can say that. I can be a yes man. If you really want me to be a yes man, I'll say, yeah, absolutely. Study that. It's going to help you so much. And then next game, blunder a piece in one. A waste of time. Yeah, exactly. So the difference in the Semislav versus the classical Slav is that in the Semislav, generally the bishop stays on c8, locked behind its own pawns for a while longer. But once you liberate this bishop, either by going b5, bishop to b7, like in the Moran lines, or once you play for a break with e5, that bishop becomes a really strong piece. Semislav is the Caro. There is a bit of overlap between the repertoires. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising that somebody who likes to play the Slav or the Semislav against d4 would also play the Caro-Kann against e4. So this is me. This is who I am. I like to play the Slav and the Semislav with black, and I'm enjoying. Oh, h6 on the board. So did I see that right? Did he play h6? Okay. So where were we? Rook f3, rook to c8, rook to d2. This is the position. And here black plays the move pawn to h6. Well, this actually loses. This loses on the spot. Can you guys find it? Can you? Ah, no! Freaking chess.com arrows spoiling it. No, of course you can find it if there's a big fat ass arrow drawn on the board. So as you can see on the screen, pawn to h6 loses immediately. Wait, did Blue Boy spoil that? Oh no, it's okay. Oh my god, that was a shocking move. Pawn to h6. Now, it reminds me of Tilburg 1978 when FM Geller, he took this pawn on b5. And Spassky, you wouldn't believe it, but Spassky went to the restroom and he came back with a big mug of coffee. And it's incredible. But with this big coffee mug, Spassky was able to refute Geller's analysis. And we were all stunned. We were audibly gasping. Okay, that's it. That's Yasser. That was Yasser, by the way. Yeah, this bishop takes b5 pretty much comes out of nowhere, and it just lands decisively. Did we just win? Hardly, not yet. Will tactical genius Anna-Maja see bishop takes b5? It's a strong consideration. It's a very strong consideration. Because it's the type of sacrifice that you cannot refuse, right? So bishop takes b5, you don't have to calculate any branches where black does not accept the sacrifice. So basically, once you're committing to a sacrifice, if it's a sacrifice that cannot be refused, then it makes it easier to calculate the resulting positions, because you know that bishop b5, a b5, knight takes b5 is truly going to happen on the board. This is really incredible, in fact. The opponent neglecting his kingside development, and ultimately seems like he's getting burned for it. But the main line is anything but simple. This is not one of those nice and simple positions. The main line, I would actually say it's not simple. So you have to find, after h6, bishop takes b5, a takes b5, knight takes, queen to d8, we have to find the move queen to a7. This is the only winning move. And after queen a7, bishop c6, we have to find the move bishop to b6. Again, only winning move. If you don't do that, you are screwed. So there are two branches in the analysis where white has to pick an only move. So I would say it should be calculated, but it's hard to determine whether she's truly going to go for it. It's complex. It's complex. Does she know? Yeah, of course she knows. She's an attacking player. She likes to play attacking chess. She's definitely at the very least considering taking on b5. This is where the earlier rook move, rook to d2, it's showing its true powers, because now it's c2 defended. You have a free hand to do any aggressive operations. But yeah, for the most part, I would say she's definitely considering it. Will she play it? I'm not certain. But in general, I would say in games that she has played OTB, when I was on commentary duty, it happens somehow that the games turn crazy in the middle game. So if history is any indicator, this game is about to get spicy. So grab your favorite snack or refreshment, lean back in your chair, or lean forward if you're a gamer, I guess, and just enjoy the show. Or maybe it's time for you to grab a full meal. Then You're excused. If somebody has to go for breakfast or lunch or dinner and come back later, you have written permission with a signature from the FIDE president himself. She's definitely calculating the sacrifice on b5 right now. Definitely. Yeah, no, this queen a7 is an only move, bishop to b6 is an only move. This is it's turning a bit too narrow. Let's say that the path to victory is there, but it's a very narrow path to victory, right? Very, very narrow. Also, quite regretfully, I don't think I'll be able to stick around for the full... Unless the game finishes in the next hour or so, I don't think I can stick around for the full length of it. I'm also playing a bit of OTB this afternoon, so... Okay, it's a casual, unrated tournament, very coffee house style chess, just for, just for fun. But I would still not want to be late. Yeah, he saw it. Yeah, the opponent is looking very intensely in that direction of the board. He's seeing it, and it's at this moment that he knew he messed up. It's funny to study the body language of both. Like, it's much easier to do this when you're looking from an outsider's perspective, right? When you're in the game, you don't often notice how your opponent is changing their body language, right? Unless it's very obvious. But when you're watching from an outsider's perspective, you kind of see all of these little tells. It's clear that he is concerned. It's clear that he is concerned, and he has seen the potential sacrifice on b5. It's also clear that she is calculating it. It's not clear whether she'll go for it, however. So let's think. Are there any ways for black to decline the sacrifice? Probably not. Like, if I take on b5 and you don't take back, let's say you play knight f6, I'll just retreat my bishop and I'll say, okay, thanks for the b pawn. That b pawn has been remarkably tasty. Great snack. A great afternoon snack right there, the b5 pawn. It's like we all have that one friend who says they're not hungry. You go somewhere to eat, you grab a portion of fries, and they're like, hey, can I take a fry? And once you say yes, you have just opened up the floodgates, because it never stops at just one fry. Let's be honest. I am that friend. I am the friend. You have been warned. If I say I'm not hungry, and you grab a portion of fries, well, yeah, somewhere around 7. Somewhere around 7, all told. That's true. Minimum 7. Well, you've been putting the fries in the bag for so long. At some point, you should be handsomely rewarded and allowed to eat them. Okay, guys, predictions. Is she gonna take on b5 or not? Is such an easy one to make. It's almost like it's actually bad because of how easy it is to make puns based on the name, right? It's like, it's not even good. It's like given to you on a silver platter. Hopefully overthinking gets defeated. Yes, this is a position where overthinking would probably not help. Yeah, I agree. Chess guidance official, I would agree with your statement. It's difficult to see the entirety of the line. H6 was very strange. I'm assuming the logic is to secure f6 for the knight without being kicked by g5. Oh yeah, he knows he's cooked. He knows he's cooked. He gets up even. Yeah, he knows he's cooked in this position. Yeah, he was afraid of the excitement with g5. But this sort of negative development that black currently has on the board must be punished. Like it's almost as if the gods of chess would not be happy if white did not sacrifice here. It's just very anti-principled, yeah? Like this h6 move, you're behind in development, your opponent is almost fully developed, has good central control, safe king. It's very, very anti-principled to play a move such as h6. So the punishment, it really must come from higher powers up there, yeah? So the gods of chess say that when you have a lead in development and the opponent has an uncastled king, you should try to break through either by opening central files or by destabilizing an entire sector of the board. So here, this works because by taking on b5, you are destabilizing an entire sector of the board and also ensuring that black never gets sufficient development or sufficient tempi to put the king away to safety on g8. Yeah, chess tends to be a quite logical game, but let's hope that she finds this. Let's hope that she finds the sacrifice. Clearly, she is calculating it, and clearly, Barry Brink is also aware of the idea that exists in the position. Queen to f6 shown because that's the best move if you're playing anti-chess. No, actually, anti-chess you're forced to take if you can take. This emote, man, this is a strange animated emote, not going to lie. Yeah, if she plays bishop takes b5, it's time to watch what shall unfold. I think there are many moves to consider here for white. I mean, okay, clearly you should consider bishop takes b5, but I mean, there are some other moves to consider. Bishop to f4, maybe pawn to h4 are both logical. Even a move like, for goodness sake, even a move like king to b1 could be positionally justified. So, I guess even bishop to d3. Bishop to d3 is also positionally justified. If there wasn't this tactic with bishop takes b5, there are at least 4 moves that seem reasonable to make. Bishop at f4, pawn to h4, king b1, bishop d3, maybe even pawn to a3. Did she seriously already play another game this morning? No, this is the first one. This is the first one for today. She should play the sack. In the worst case, there is a repetition. Okay. What's the repetition? I didn't see the repetition. Where do you repeat? So h6, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen d8 presumably. Queen d8. I don't see the repetition. You mean the repetition with his knight to d5? Oh, queen c6 I wasn't considering. Interesting. Queen c6. Huh. No, but even taking on c8 there looks fine. Yeah, I have two connected passers. Yeah, you have. It's tough. It's tough to play like that though. It's tough to take on c8. There should be something better than taking on c8 in that line. You're right. So you can probably, but she would not go for a repetition in that scenario. We're just waiting. We're just waiting right now. Nothing else to do than to just sit back and wait. Will she play it? Makes sense, Okjet. Makes a lot of sense. Mateusz, your morning sounds very busy, or rather, very exciting. So, looks like we got some excitement, yeah? Bishop takes b5 has been played. And Barry is taking a bit of time to assess the position, as if to say that he's surprised. Took a solid 5-second think there before writing down the move. But he is He is presumably cooked. Let's see. Do you guys like your beef well done? Medium? Or maybe more on the rare side? Because I think the cooking has just commenced. Bishop b5. That's what's exciting. You like your beef medium rare. Okay. I like my beef well done because I was brainwashed into liking my beef well done throughout my university years in Texas, where smoked brisket before American football games. Oh my goodness. Mouth-watering. I absolutely love my beef well done. Also stands true for burgers as well. I like my well done hamburgers. Yeah, this is getting very spicy. Bro's jaw is gone. None. It's a very logical move, chat. Very, very logical. To quote a high-profile chess.com streamer. It's very logical. Well, it's probably not the right idea to judge one person based on just one game. Like, you can see games where even Magnus Carlsen played like a 2300 and he's a 2800. And conversely, I can show you games of 1700s who played like FIDE Masters. So he's probably not to be judged on just one game, but rather his entire activity in the world of chess. And well, he's an international master whose rating is below 2400, but still respectable enough. Oh, wow. The guy just says, I blundered a pawn. So basically he just admits, I blundered a pawn for no compensation. Okay, we're up a pawn. We're up a clean pawn, knight f6, bishop to a4 expected. Yeah, he basically, I guess he calculated all of the lines and he's like, no, I'm not taking this. It's too dangerous. I'm losing here. But then again, he's just down a clean pawn for no reason at the moment. F5. F5. Where F5? I only go F5 when I need to refresh the page. Oh, why are you guys trying to complicate it so much? Why don't you like to play simple chess? Your opponent just gave you a pawn, and now you want everything? Just retreat the bishop, man. Just retreat the bishop. And be happy that you're up a pawn, and then you can continue with h4 and g5 later. Just bishop to a4. You don't have to calculate in this position. The calculation was necessary to come up with bishop takes b5. Once the opponent declines the sacrifice, there's not so much to calculate. Retreat the bishop, keep everything guarded. Don't try some crazy stuff. Come on. Bishop to f4. Jesus. You guys don't like simple chess. You guys don't like simple chess if you want to play a move like bishop to f4 here. No, this position is really like in this position there's nothing to calculate. All of a sudden it's quiet. White is up a pawn, white has a safer king, and white has a clear plan to go h4 g5. Why would you even try to calculate? Why would you go bishop to e2? Jesus Christ, you have a4 available and you'd go to e2? What's the law? Where's the logic? Where's the logic? Explain to me why you would put the bishop on e2 if a4 is available. Bishop to f1. Always retreat. Ben Feingold is smiling somewhere. I was gonna make a mean joke there, but I caught myself. Altold, you can infer. You can type in mod chat. Altold is one of my very, very famous Twitch moderators. Oh, wait, what happened? Yeah, it's true. This is true, Fly Fools. Oh, you've gone through 2 ads and you're sick of it. Okay, you can pay for Twitch, but you didn't pay for my coaching. I see how it is. I see the things that we value here. I'm cooking. Hold up, let me cook. Yeah, I'm not subscribed. I'm not subscribed, so I guess I get some of those subs too. Sorry, I get some of those ads, not some of those subs. What did I say? Told you I didn't sleep well last night. You bet Anna is calculating bishop f4. Goodness me. Goodness me. Yeah, bishop takes b5 was worth a sub. I must sub on her Patreon. I try not to support the Twitch machine so much, but I support platforms that give a higher share of the revenue to the content creators themselves. So Patreon is good enough to take my money and to support Anna-Maja. And you know, if you didn't know that she had a Patreon, it's finally launched. Exclusive behind the scenes updates. Parts of the chess training as well, and content for chess improvement. This was an ad. We have 26 people in the Patreon now. I don't know how the breakdown is between free members and paid members, but we have 26 people there. And it's growing, so you know, do what you want to do. I'm just telling you the option exists. There is a possibility for some content creators to also subscribe at the free tier, but probably there are going to be a lot of locked behind behind the paywall, right? There will be some content that's free, and most of it is probably going to be behind the paywall. This is the next to last round. So this is round 5 out of 6. We are in round 5. Also, guys, the title of the stream contains this information. So, round 5, Amsterdam Chess Open. Is she still thinking here? She is still thinking. Wow, okay. What do you mean it's not FIDE rated? Are you serious? Are you serious this is not FIDE rated? That's a scam, man. That's a big scam. What the hell? Okay, I need to check this. FIDE ratings, tournaments, Netherlands. Tournaments registered for December 2024. You're right. It is not registered for FIDE ELO calculation. Wow. Wow. No, it's not. It's not rated. It's not. You cannot register it now, Akjet. No, you cannot. No. If norms are not possible, the tournaments have to be registered 14 days in advance. If norms are possible, you should register it. Excuse me. You should register it 21 days in advance. So this is definitely not registered for FIDE. Yeah, okay. So we learned something new. Apparently this is not part of Anna-Maja's ELO grind. It's just some sort of, maybe not casual tournament because it's still national rated, but very unusual. Wait, I don't see. Okay. It has not been registered though. I'm looking on the actual registration list of all tournaments under the Dutch Federation on FIDE. This tournament has not been registered. Maybe it's on the calendar, but it does not appear to be registered for FIDE calculation. Now it's the prevailing source of authority on the matter. The prevailing source of authority is the link that I just posted. If the tournament is not listed there, then it means it's not registered for FIDE rating calculation. Wow, this is a bit of a shocker. Not gonna lie. I did not think the tournament was not FIDE rated. Oh, surely she knows, but it's still disheartening, especially if you have a good event, of course. Okay, I'm curious. Akjet, I'm gonna click on the stuff that you sent and try to read the tournament flyer, because they should make it very clear that it's rated for national rating but not international rating. Okay, so general tournament rules. Blah blah blah. Okay. The results, so Article 4, pairing. The results are processed for FIDE rating and KNSB rating. So in the tournament regulations, they claim the results are sent to FIDE and KNSB. So this is very unusual. Somebody dropped the ball there. Somebody must have dropped the ball and forgot to register the tournament with FIDE. Whether they're going to grant an exception remains to be seen, but the rules are pretty clear on that. The rules are pretty clear that you should register tournaments way ahead for rating calculation. So I guess it remains to be seen. Probably the ratings either the tournament organizer or the rating officer of the Dutch Federation has dropped the ball. Bishop to a4 played. Thank goodness. Thank gosh. Okay, and he plays e5. Okay, but e5 is a nothing burger. e5 is a nothing burger. We are just going to play, so let's after bishop a4, pawn to e5. It's such a nothing burger that we can even play queen to b6 in this position, offering a trade of queens. This has to be good for white. You cannot easily dodge this queen trade. Well, you cannot even dodge it in any way, in fact. If you go queen to b8, I just double rooks on the d file and you lose the game. So basically, I think queen to b6 would be a good practical decision here, but queen to a7 appears to be stronger. agree with Laws Cooper here, guys. I tend to agree that hello, Nordertown. I tend to agree that if the tournament has not been registered, it's quite rare for the qualification commission and rating office to give an exception if somebody dropped the ball on it. But I guess it remains to be seen. There's nothing that we can do at this point than just to see the next list on December. You can bet it will be rated. Okay. We shall see. We shall see. I would say the chances are closer to 50-50. Pawn on f4. Anna-Maja mouse slipped on move 1 and only played f3. Really, Akjet? You've played at least 3 tournaments where this happened. Okay. Just Balkan things. Why not link the December 2024 rating calculation? We are in November already. Yeah, it's very interesting. Thanks to who pointed it out in the chat. Plus 2.5. Wow, that's a... She goes queen all the way to a7. That is a good move. That is a great move, in fact. It's the best move. So, really, really good play so far by Anna-Maja. Yeah, no, this is really good. The way that she's playing right now, amazing. Yeah, I think this game will not last too much longer after this. Yeah, I think this game will finish in the next hour. Or rather, maybe I'm just projecting. I'm just hoping that the game would end. Okay. A bishop to b4. I think we just go bishop to b6. And yeah, bishop to b4, we go bishop to b6. And on queen to c4, I would assume queen. So bishop to b6, queen c4, we take on b7. They take on c3, we go bishop takes d7, knight takes d7, queen takes d7, and here on king f8, I believe we have queen takes c8, queen takes c8, rook to d8 resigns. Yeah, black is done. Black is done here. Bishop to b6 wins on the spot. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we'll see bishop to b6 and just very clean conversion afterwards. And the player of Anna-Maja's caliber will surely find such a sequence. Bishop to b6, very forcing move. Let's go. Nice. Okay. Did he go queen to b8? Did he go queen to b8, chat? Are we cooking? Are we cooking, chat? And I mean, okay, what's happening here? What is even happening, my friends? So we went bishop to b6, opponent went queen to b8. we can just very calmly trade on b8 and go bishop to c7, and presumably black will resign in that position because we are going to be up 2 clean pawns. Yeah, okay, she goes for it immediately. Yeah, it's just bishop to c7 and resigns. There's nothing to play for here. Not only 2 clean pawns, but also ensuring there's no structural damage once black takes on c3. And then we just recapture. But also, I would prefer after bishop take my rook, I take your bishop, and now e5 is still hanging at the end. So either way you play this. No, but Alberto, I think we just take the rook. So bishop takes bishop c7, bishop takes c3, bishop takes b8, preserves structural integrity. You don't have to calculate much. Yeah, this is resignable. This is resignable even at like 1900 level. You're gonna be up 2 clean pawns with 0 chance of counterplay. Yeah, okay, and he resigns as expected. Thanks everybody for joining. What a wonderful game, wonderful attacking game by Anna-Maja. Congratulations. Yeah, this was a very well executed game. Very well executed. Bravo. Yeah, I mean, come on. Why would he not resign there? I should commentate more? Nah, I don't know about that. Okay, fellas, I'm gonna leave you in the very apt hands of the streamer. Thanks for joining, and maybe, well, let's wish Anna-Maja good luck for the last round. So, ciao, chat.